South Africa currently, there's so many things that's happening in our space, and we need to know what to do in terms of strategy, in terms of our own organizations. So I do serve on the CIDB as a board member, but that's not the only thing I do. I've got some other credentials, but my credentials is not good enough for me to become a construction agent. I just thought I'll throw it out there to those that be. I was told I don't have enough skills, qualifications, competence. Yet I'm here speaking to you guys. Ouch. Away. How did that go? Right. So on the topic, what will it take for us to become future fit? And what does it mean if we look at the trends that we need to be afraid with, whether it's in society, politically, economically? And I've chosen this picture to say, and I wish they had a woman, catwalk, but anyway, our roles and responsibilities are going to increase whichever way the magnitude of it will become sometimes impossible for us to do, because our employers, our suppliers, our clients will expect us to do more than what we are employed for or employed to do. So the Superman effect, that you must be on top of things, right? So that we ensure that we do whatever we need to do in our organizations, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a chief operations officer, or whether you're a safety officer, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on some of the issues that Forbes have published, just to start off with the perspective, because we all employ people, and we're all in the space where we need people. So I think I'll start with the human element. Being a brand ambassador, I was just working, doing another presentation for one of the other government entities, and I was explaining to them that the element of being a brand ambassador is so important that if we do not carry that flag for your organization or wherever you're working, for example, I was given some branding items of another organization that I do work for. And I just felt uncomfortable. I wasn't going to wear their t-shirts or their caps because I felt that it doesn't resonate with some of the things that I would like them to do. So as a brand ambassador, I can technically say I was a bit embarrassed. Where do you fit in that space? Are you able to be that brand ambassador? Are you able to walk proudly and say, my organization is the SACP, and I have to say it slowly, like Nomvula, how she taught it, SACP, CMP. That's what you told us, eh? Right. But if you only stop at the SACP, and it's like, isn't that like the what is it, the union? Right. But it's not a political party, right, Nomvula? Right. So being a brand ambassador has different aspects to it. It comes with other issues that you need to consider, the ethics of the organization, the integrity, and that. So I don't have to elaborate on that. Investing in human capital, I think it's very important. It's becoming one of the most important issues that you've got to invest in your employees. I believe that someone spoke, and I'm sorry that I missed the presentation, on something close to the gig economy. I'm practically facing that situation where I've got multiple employers or multiple jobs that I'm involved with. So somebody had to invest in me or invest in my capabilities so that I could be able to do either this presentation or so on. But if the intention is that you're going to stay in your organization until you retire, first I want to say I feel sorry for you, because your company may not be there in the next 15, 20 years or 5 years, or in the case of SABC, they're probably going to have to let them go by the end of October, November, depending on how processes go. So if your intention was that you're going to retire in that organization, you're in trouble. But if the organization says, look, we're going to stay here, we have no intention of leaving, public works will be here till time and memorial, butcher, right? Then you've got to invest in the people that you are having. And investment is not just sending them to courses that you think fits within their profile. I did work for an organization, and they were having this argument about why should they fund or give a bursary to someone that wants to study law and the person is in marketing. And I'm like, what is the problem? Because law, marketing, it should go together eventually. And does it matter what that person wants to do? It's part of enrichment. Or you want the individual to be stuck in the job and not move on. So our thinking will have to change around that. Increasing efforts of empathetic leadership. I know that we do that a lot, being African and being part of this Ubuntu culture. We're very empathetic towards an employees, but it has to get to a certain it has to stop somewhere. I was witnessing a situation where an employer was part of, going to the house of the bereaved family and all that, even to the extent that he wanted to help bury the individual. It has to stop somewhere. You can't do that. I'm saying that you get to the grave, and then you stand back. What I'm saying is you can't cross certain lines. Empathy is very important because it means you walk in other people's shoes. It means you understand where people come from. And we need that a lot in South Africa, but stay away from having to actually bury your own employee. It's a bit taking it too far now. Right. The key thing as well is actions, leadership and actions. And how do we lead by example? And this survey was done through Forbes, and they've interviewed many organizations, I think over 18,000 companies. What are the key things? We still want our leaders to lead by example. We are tired of seeing people in leadership positions, and I'm not saying it's a rank and file thing. It could be someone that's running an office, where you lead by example. This workshop I went to this morning, I'm a guest there, I'm first or second, I arrive there. The rest of the team, 20 people, they arrive at 9 o'clock, but the schedule says we start at 8. So for me, even the person that invited me, the most senior person, I don't want to say with ease or with was, it's not a politician, okay? They're allowed to come late. I was like, no, this is not how we do things. What are you saying? Are you saying to the people it's okay? No wonder they were late. And you know what was the most disappointing thing, sir? They were all booked in the hotel. Huh? So I arrived there from wherever, I'm there 8 o'clock, they arrive in at 9 o'clock, and I took them on. I said, you don't disrespect my time. In fact, I could have been here an hour earlier if they didn't delay. Now it means that I'm now coming here and I've delayed you an hour because I couldn't enjoy the first session. So you need to lead by example. In being in the values that the organization and the ethics that the organization drives, people don't want to hear this. Now, I'm a safety professional by profession, and I have this question that I always ask my colleagues, are you a safety guys? No? Okay, good for you. So there's a situation, a person of safety nature is caught on a weekend, drunk as a skunk, driving 180 kilometers per hour. I asked them the next day, do you think the company must fire him? He's a safety person, he was driving under the influence and he was speeding. Guess what they said? The group like you. They said no, because what he does on a Sunday or weekend or Saturday or after hours got nothing to do with the organization. Really? I don't think we live in that day and age where you can actually start separating your responsibility towards the bigger community, especially, in social media they can fire you. They do fire people saying things. But as a safety person, I expected a little bit more. I was a bit taken aback because I thought this is maybe some other type of thing going on here, but people do not see the link between what they do and the values. And yet in the organization, they have values that says we need to have integrity, we need to be open and honest, the normal 6 things. So we follow the 6 things, but it's okay if we don't practice it. Individual growth, I've mentioned something about that. Turning organizations truly into customer-centric business. Becoming customer, and you have to ask yourself, is that what we do? How do you treat your customers when they send an email? How do you treat your clients when they ask for information? How long does it take the SACP MP to process an application? Do they come back to you when you leave a message? Do they answer your call? And it's not just them, it could be the construction industry development board, we have a board member, we have the same issues. Do we respond to clients when they have queries? Do we respond to them when they don't understand why their grading was not approved? Do we say to them, come back in 21 days, just because the man missed a little bit of an annexure, now you take liberty, and now you have to come back another 21 days, knowing he has now traveled from Limpopo, because he doesn't trust the system in Limpopo, drives to Johannesburg, comes and sits in our office for almost 12 hours. We only see him at 3:30, and then 4 o'clock we say, sorry, I'm on lunch or on tea, come back later. Not understanding this poor guy had to drive, he probably had to borrow his whole pay from somebody to come and do his application. And all you can do is say, I'm busy now, just come back another day. So we need to understand our customers. I want to relate a story here, and I want to show you how the banks do it. When I spoke to my personal banker about 2 weeks ago, she said to me, Natalie, you need to update your information. I'm going to add 5 minutes to my speaking and now you're interrupting me. I know Sipho, so I can mess with you. She said, you need to update your information because you're now a doctor and it's good in the books of the banks that they see there's a DR and you are no longer a Mrs. I said, I don't want to do it. I mean, it's not going to add any value. It's not like you're going to take 30,000 rand away from the loans that I have and things that I'm paying. What value is it? She said, no, let's just do it. It's for, your status and stuff. So I said, okay, let me play along. I do this application and they found me. I sent my qualifications and you won't believe it, 30 minutes later, who calls me? Someone that wants to sell me insurance, someone that wants to sell me a policy, someone that they just want to drag me into more debt because what has happened now, suddenly somewhere in their space, they know their customer. This thing has triggered to say, Mrs. Skeepers' portfolio or thing has changed. She's now a doctor. Let's give her more debt and let's give her more problems. So they knew by some way or means or measure that the customer profile has changed. Do we know our customers? Do we know that when somebody does an application, that application, the person was actually a director last year, now they're lying, they're something else, and then now we have problems in our system. Sorry. Anyway, so I was like really floored. I said, I can't believe how a person's life can change within 30 minutes. Just now I was a nobody offered me loans. Suddenly I'm a somebody. I said, well, I'm not interested, bye-bye. Embracing work-life balance, it's going to become very important. With all the lifestyle diseases employees are contracting, it means that when you employ a system, when you employ employees, you've got to ensure that if your intention is that they're in your business for long, that there are wellness programs available, and that the type of activities that they're involved with, you are going to assist them. I'm not saying you're going to do it to sustain their lifestyles, right? So the one company asked me to do an audit for them. They want to now have like a clean office, clean whatever. The first thing I went in, I looked at their canteens, and I'm like seeing pies and pap, and I said, I've not seen one bowl of fruit or anything. You've got nothing here that says to me, you're actually serious, that you actually want to help the employees, because they did some survey and they found out a lot of the employees got high blood and all that. I said, so when you're serving food in your canteen, why don't you ban all the Coca-Colas and the stuff? Why don't you just have water? No, they're not going to like it. I said, but by day 4, if they realize there's no Coca-Cola, I'm sure they're going to take the water, and it's free, so how are they going to moan about it? So the organization has to work with the employees, and it has to be like a nudge. You can't obviously also enforce policies on people and say, now, from now on, everybody in this building, we're going to have water and all that. It doesn't work like that. And then paying attention to internal factors that are in their control, we know what that means. So, looking forward, we have to start having this view that sometimes when you have made mistakes and sometimes when you have not achieved everything that you wanted to, as a safety professional or someone in the built environment, your rearview mirror, do you realize that it's smaller than your big mirror, in your glass in front? There's a reason for that. Is that only a small percentage of what has already happened matters. What is important now is where we're going and the road ahead and how you're going to deal with that and what is the focus. Where do you want to take this new strategy to? Where do you want to focus on and what do you want to achieve? Instead of being fixated with the Alexander Graham Bell telephone syndrome. Try and show your kids this and ask them about this telephone. Even some 23-year-olds, I tried it the other day, they said, no, they don't know what that is, but it's okay. I also didn't know until I had to find out. No, I'm kidding. This was drummed into us. So, what does that mean? Does it mean now you throw the baby out with the part worker? No. It just means that we need to be more intuitive, we need to understand the environment more. It means that you need to understand the clients more and how you're going to work. Right. Then the issue of sexual harassment. I'm putting this in because I'm a woman, and maybe it affects men as well, but I'm putting it here because I'm not going to keep quiet about this. It happens once too often, too many times. If you received the video from Minister Kigaba with his video, I got stuck there, and somebody sent it to you, is that the equivalent of harassment, sexual harassment? It is, because it's content that you were not expecting, it's content that you were not wanting to see. It is tantamount to sexual harassment. Now, I do work for another entity, the Film and Publication Board, and we do not subscribe to content being distributed of a sexual nature, because that stuff can just somehow land out in the kids' or your granny's phone that you don't want to see. I mean, it's such a disgusting way the way our society is. Everybody's proud this thing is flying around. I'm not. I think however it came out and whatever happened, it's frankly nobody's business, but that's not the focus of my joke. I'm saying that you've got to make sure that issues of sexual harassment is dealt with in the organization through proper policies and making sure that you have systems and procedures. What has happened to the likes of Bill Cosby and Kavanaugh and everybody else? You think stuff don't come out? It will eventually come out, and it will hurt our profession. It will hurt your credibility, because people tend to speak up now because they're becoming more comfortable with saying about things that they're not happy. So have proper policies and procedures, and this covers men as well. It doesn't just end here that we are only talking to women. And then taking a stand on social and political issues. I don't want to elaborate this, but remember the board member at, it was Eskom, Mark Kafnuti, because of what he tweeted or what he did in the organization by dismissing a person of color, the board eventually told him to go. That was taking a stand on political and social issues. And I'm not saying now you must open another EFF or another organization. All I'm saying, if something is wrong, you need to speak up against it and show that you have some kind of integrity. Right? The gig economy, I explained that. I was actually saying to this organization, the government department where I was at this morning, I cannot believe the many times that I've been to Parliament, all the time it's vacancy rates. Why is there so many vacancies, Butcher? What's your vacancy rate in public works? You chose to sit here, I'm going to pick on you. Vacancy rate when we have the half of South Africa unemployed, or they don't have jobs. The unemployment rate is 26.6%. You have 17 million people that do not have jobs, and 12 million people that's on the SASSA scheme, I think. So how is it possible that we have an unemployment rate? It's because we are not prepared to embrace short-term contracts, short-term works, because we think that people are there to take your jobs. It's not the case. But unfortunately, it's happening more and more and more that people are coming in for short contracts and they say, we can do this job, we can do it better, and we're out. I do work, I sound like I really have a lot of contracts. I will tell the minister. I do work for this TV college, so they have an agreement with SAIC. Is it SAIC, the auditors or the chartered accountants, where they bring in SAICA. They bring in shadow CFOs and stuff to teach them. So we went in and we said to the current CFO, we're bringing you in help. This person comes from an organization that was in the newspapers. They're unemployed, they need work. Can you work side by side with them? He had such a fit. Now they're coming to take my work. I said, this is a free service. The government has paid for it. All we're doing is taking the one person and putting her next to you so she can get skills, so she could learn, so she could upgrade what she currently has. You're not feeling intimidated, but we are so stuck to what we have. We don't understand that things are changing in our environment. Having an outside, objective outsider, that's obvious in terms of having consultants and people advising you. Continuous education is important. And elevating and retaining women in the workplace. So this, I could not slide by this. And this is not just me. It was a survey done by Forbes. That women get bypassed, passed by, under by, I don't know why. That we were told we're good to go and make curry in the kitchens. Really? I still need to get that student. First thing, if you know what I'm saying. It's a bit too much. So for management, people in management positions, we're getting to a stage where you're going to be called out. If you don't own up to your mistakes, then you're never gonna rebound. You're never gonna get your credibility back. You must somehow do it there and now. You make a mistake, what Steve Harvey did, everybody knows what this picture is about. He called out the wrong Miss Universe. Right? And then all you have to do is own up. We know we're not robots, we're not perfect, but don't connive and lie and hide and crawl under the problem and go around it. Let's own up as a society. If you made a mistake with my application, SACMP, own up and just say we made a mistake, we're going to relook at your application and we're going to fix it, you know? But let's not hide about things that we know that it eventually is going to embarrass you and it's going to bring the organization into disrepute, right? Wasn't me. Okay? Somebody else. So what does Forbes say? The critical skills. Let's go back. You want me to get fired? Okay, just says it wasn't me. Maslango said it was the officials. Okay, Singh said it wasn't him. And everybody else says it wasn't them. Okay? It's not important. Right. What are the top 10 skills? In 2020, what are we looking for? We want people that can critically solve complex problems. I'm not saying you must start coding now and go and do a course in coding and how to code, but complex problem solving. Steve Jobs had this thing where you used to have one meeting a week for 3 hours. Okay? So you sit there, everybody talks, get it done with. Now in South Africa with us, we think meetings is an activity. It's not work. When you're in a meeting, you're not productive, you're not contributing anything to anything. It's just a meeting, right? Critical thinking, being creative, and that's the part where we sometimes, where we want to stifle people's thinking and ideas to say that no, this won't work. Just because we are comfortable around what we're doing and all that. World Economic Forum, that stuff I sucked out of my house there in Oxford, comes from the World Economic Forum. People management, emotional intelligence, very important aspects of your business. That you know how to deal with people, how to manage people, how to treat people with respect. Those are the things that are key. Cognitive flexibility, a skill of negotiation. I was just relaying this story to someone, and I'm not kidding you. As part of this unemployment summit, right, I have written to whoever about, let's talk about employing kids under 25 and not ask them for experience. It makes sense to me now because my son is about to go and work, so obviously it's personal, right? He doesn't have experience and I don't want him in the house till he's 40. So I wrote and I said, everybody that is under 25, as part of the job summit, don't ask them for experience. Just let them come and work. As long as they have a good attitude and they arrive to work early and all that, we must give them experience. So apparently this conversation went on. My son said he applied for an internship or some type of job, and he put on his CV that he can do gardening, he can do car wash, and he cleans and he helps in the house and whatever. And the interviewer asked him, how can you put that on this experience? He says, but I have experience. I'm disciplined when I do the gardening. I arrive on time. I don't know about that because I know he just scrolls out and then he's there. He washes the car and all that. So what he's done, he's trumped all of our thinking about what experience is. So how are you going to handle that child when he comes to your interview? He's going to tell you the same things. And I know what I would have been thinking if that boy was sitting in front of me. How can you come and tell me that you washed the car? That's supposed to be part of your job. What I'm saying is that flexibility in terms of your cognitive thinking and the creativity that you put on your CV. What can I say? I was flawed. I had to agree. Wow, I think you did a good job. Yeah, so I think he's going to get the position. Whatever they're going to give. Right. What we don't want is this thinking that it's not my job. It's very difficult to put that tree out of its misery. And somebody else must do it. And this picture is not from China. It's not from Australia. It's not from London. It's a local picture. I want to tell you something. I'm not trying to... I'm good. I once worked I'll tell you I worked for Transnet. And what happened? My boss asked me once to go and pick up a telemeter. I worked in the rail space. I had no idea what a telemeter is. I thought it was something to go pick up something like this. So I'm the safety manager. I'm running the group safety for freight rail, and I'm being told to go pick up a telemeter somewhere else. I thought, oh, well, I'll go. The dumb thing I didn't do was to take someone along. So when I get there, and I look at this big thing. Now, a telemeter is a unit you put on the train so that it can connect one of the wagons and it talks to one another, basically. It's almost like, I don't know, it's just a big, ugly steel thing. And I went to pick this thing up. You know, when I was driving back, I'm thinking, why does this guy send me to go pick this thing up? What does he think of himself? I mean, I'm a highly paid executive. Look what car I'm driving. Now I must put this piece of thing in my car, in my boot. I didn't even have a plastic and anything. And I was very annoyed on the way. And as I'm driving, I'm beginning to think about this thing. I was so annoyed, it could have changed my attitude, my mood. So when I got to the office, I asked one of the guys to help me take it out and take it to wherever they needed it. We had a problem at that time because the train has been staged and some guy down the road is looking for his commodities and nobody else was in close proximity. The only person he could ask, because I happened to pass the passage, was unfortunately me. Just go and pick that thing up. So I was caught in the fine I had and I went to pick it up. What I learned that day is that eventually I figured out what that thing was. Imagine if I never did that. Imagine if I never undertook that exercise. Because I had an attitude about my position, my role, my pay, where I was sitting. In fact, I had a very nice corner office. Now I was going to be busy picking up telemeters. What do they think of me? Right, so that's not the type of employee you want. Right? So there's a line in terms, obviously you can't ask me to pick up his napkins and things like that. But there's a line. But we need more employees that think and say, you know what, if I move this thing out of the way, maybe it's not a bad thing. So it talks to one's attitude as well. Right, I just want to show you this and then we'll talk. South Africa. But be honest, who of you will tell that guy to take his business and bugger off? Who's going to fire the contractor? Put up your hand. Let's be honest. You're going to tell that contractor what? Where's your safety file? I'm speaking to a lot of both in the workplace we're entering into, the informal, non-formal SMMEs that's entering, that's not going to want to do or able to do the things that you think must be their policy that nobody knows, that was written when Alexander Graham Bell was in place or around. Right, so I just wanted to also talk about artificial intelligence. I know you heard a lot about that yesterday, but specifically in the construction industry, there's a lot of that being used where the artificial intelligence is collecting data and saying this machine in 2 months or 3 months' time, it's going to need repairs, it's going to need oil and all that. Now to the guys that are never home, if you don't watch it, you're going to come home butcher, right? You're going to find your wife with somebody else. Is this an affair? Is this woman having an affair? Who said yes? She's having an affair. Huh? Cheating. Cheating. Why? That person has got no emotional anything. It's just the whole body. It's just company. And if you think this is disgusting, Silicon Valley right now they're testing sex bots. Sex bots. A sex bot where you have your doll. Are you recording me? You need to see. Sex bots where They're having sex with the person, with the doll or the thing. Go and Google it. Right? So all the stuff is like, hell no, we can't have that. There are people in our society that's doing this because either they're lonely or their husbands are never at work, they're running around with the minister, what about legislation? Right? Sorry, Butcher. I don't know anyone else. Okay, give me your name. I know him. Okay, Butcher. Right. What about legislation? Yeah, I know. There's all people new now. Butcher. You must organize a meeting. Right. I must tell you something. I was very impressed. The minister sent me a message this morning, and I have it. If you think I'm lying, I'm name dropping, you can come and check my phone. He says, good luck with your presentation. I don't know what he meant. I don't know what you all did to him yesterday or what you all said, but he said good luck. So good luck for me is like, okay, this way or that way, I don't know. Anyway, legislation has to change. It has to become even to the point where people understand it. The most important thing for me is when there's a bill out, you people, and I'm talking to all of us now, you don't comment on bills. I go a lot to public discussions around bills, and I'll take one example, an ergonomic bill, because that's close to that's my space. And the amount of professionals that actually commented on the ergonomic bill it's sad. Let me say it's sad. So when your office or the government puts out bills, we don't comment. And then as soon as the bill becomes legislation, you now want to fight and you want to start a little party and organize a riot. But you had an opportunity to have your say. And if you don't know what I'm saying, let me give you an example. February this year, there was a bill that says we want to change the way, what is the school thing? Governing bodies operate. Right? Because we all have kids, I can use that one. Governing bodies operate and government wants to be in charge and control the governing bodies. Do you know what was the percentage of people that responded? I don't even think less than 5%. But when next year comes and that legislation is passed, you're all here, all of you, including me, you're going to have a fat lot to say. But you had an opportunity to say we don't want governing bodies to be interfered with. When it comes to safety bills, when it comes to regulations, this fraternity is quiet. Then you'll wait for afterwards, and then you'll want to have things about the regulations is too steep. The regulations is not practical. The regulations can't be implemented. Of course, the people that speak out a lot are the employers, Natalie. Because with the ergonomic bill, for example, they can see where this thing is going. They can see they're going to have to fork out more money when the ergonomics bill is passed. But the professionals sitting here, they've not done 1 inch of iota of effort to say, if I'm not included in this, my job that was this big is going to become very small because it's going to be left up to consultants like myself or somebody else that can actually do the work. But we have that responsibility that we're not even taking care of it. And yet it's for our best thing. Okay, technology, I'm not going to say much here. I think I've been told that I must start keeping quiet. There are a lot of changes in the environment, and I know that today you spoke a lot about the fourth industrial, revolution. So I just want to pick on the one with the drones. Let's move on. I don't see it. One of my clients, they were saying that we're having a lot of fatalities and injuries and issues. I said, why don't you use a drone? Let the drone follow the commodity. Let the drone go between the wagons if you are still in the rail business. Let the drone go to the site and do aerial inspections. But of course, we want to do the work. We want to invoice for inspections and orders. I'm not going to say I don't want that, but I'm saying we need to start working smarter. You can now buy the drone and let the drone do the inspection. But you know what will they say? That's not an inspection because the inspection says you must do the inspection. And then I ask them, okay, prove to me, where does it say I can't send in a drone or a robot or stuff? We are so behind with our technology. Okay, so we need to start doing things more smarter. I think I'm almost done. I wanted to speak about transformation. We need to see this industry transform in a big way, not just in gender, not just in race, but also in terms of capital. Who owns what and where's the economy? Everything to do with who's building what. I just see when I serve on the, like I said, on the CIDB, it's the same players. There's no transformation. We need to start seeing real transformation, and transformation will bring in money for this economy, money for the people. Because if I don't work, there's two other people, which is my helper, my gardener, and whoever goes with them, that won't be employed, that won't have work, that won't eat. So you need to understand where this rope ends, okay? I want to say something about blind hiring. I was in a recruitment process the other day, and we had to hire a CEO blindly. Do you know what that means? So, it means that the CVs came in. We asked the agent to Tipex out, well, not Tipex, you know what I mean, Tipex out. All the names of the people, their sex, their age, yeah, no, that we don't ask for. Everything that gives an indication what, because we're looking at certain skills. And when the person came for the interview, were we surprised? Were we surprised? Because we can't continue doing what we were doing and not getting the results. We're on the same trajectory, but you want different results. So blind hiring is becoming one of the top things. So if you're in a position where you need to find people that are skilled, that are doing, the competency levels, this is the route to go. And it's not a discrimination because you don't know who you're dealing with. So yeah, that's just one of the things I wanted to throw in there. And then the generational issues, and I'm going to stop here because I want to give you a story. Then I'm going to leave because I think I've overstayed my 30 minutes. So I was involved in a recruitment with a panel, and we're looking for a certain type of person. I think it was in the IT space. This happened about 3 years ago, so you can't go now to Google and see who we employed. Please do, it doesn't work like that. So this dude comes, it's his third interview, and I think by now you realize, you know what, this organization is going to settle with me, they want to employ me. But if you saw the guy that we were interviewing, he came with a spotty, he had broken jeans, and he looked like he was coming to rob us. I said that as well. I said, really? Couldn't his father give him a jacket? But I am trying to be progressive. So I looked past that and I looked at the attitude. He did such a good interview 3 times, so obviously he was the right candidate. Now that's not the point. His clothes was not the point. Remember, he's a youngster, maybe he doesn't have funding and he borrowed the jeans, whatever. Right. So in the interview, we say to him, he somehow asked us, so how much does this job pay? Now, if you were offered a job, seriously, is anyone in this room that ever asked the employer, somewhere there, how much does this job pay? We just come to do it, right? And we won't do it because we think it's not ethically correct. He asked, so we said, look, we not really, but it's between so and so. He said, okay, let's take a figure, 30,000. He saw me pin it down. I said, 30,000. So he says, I said, but it's not all. It comes with benefits. We've got a pension fund and medical aid. He says, stop, whoa, stop, I was. What do you mean pension fund? I said, well, the company gives 7,000, you give a percentage, and it looks like 7,000. He said, okay, and the 3,000? I said, it's medical aid. You pay, we pay, something like that. He says, okay, now this is what I want. Already he knew the job is going to be easy. I want the 7,000 rand on top of the 30,000. I said, but that's for pension fund. It doesn't work like that. He says, I'm going to go and take out an RA because I don't trust you with my money. I'm going to invest it myself. Look at this face. You don't tell this face stuff like that. And then I said, but there's rules around pension fund. He says, no, you can write a letter to the pension fund explaining to them there's a separate RA. Did you know what the RA was 30 years ago? No. So I'm like totally flawed because I've never been told of like this. Right? I'm the chairperson of the HR committee. You don't tell me about policies and whatever. And then he says about the medical aid. He's going to be on his mother's medical aid. 30, it's getting worse, guys. Hold on. 30 years, and he's now 23, so he'll just bring the letter. He knows the story. So he outsmarted me, outnumbered us because he did his homework. He knew exactly what he's talking about. So okay, we agree, we'll give you that extra. So now he's walking out with 40,000, right? Right, that ended. Do you think we hired him? Who says yes? Come now, play with me. Who says yes? 5 of you. All go to church. We hired him. He's working for us. So he arrives there next month. But before he left, he says, by the way, where do I park when I arrive? I saw what he drove in the morning when he came for the interview. Not that car like yours. Wie weet is 'n skedonk. He was driving a Tolopi, a skedonk. And I still said, yeah, no, you're going to park outside. I mean, you need to park outside. He says, no, I need parking because as you can see, my car is not in a good condition. I said, that's the first time now that we've agreed on something. He says, no, I need parking because I need to protect my car from the rain, the sun, the hail, and all the weather elements. I said, it doesn't work like that. Here, executives park in the basement. You need to park outside. You're not high enough. You're like here. You need to be there to park in the basement. He said, but that's exactly the problem I have. Where's that thing about the policies? Outdated policies. Alexander Graham Bell. He said, I don't think that it's a fair process, but it's okay. We'll discuss it when I join. 2 days he was there. He didn't even know where the toilet was yet. And he already started a little organization there. He went around getting a petition going, and everybody signed that parking should be allocated on a first come first basis. Yeah, first serve basis. I thought, well, now I'm getting all the rap because I'm the chair of the HR committee, and it comes to my committee, and I must look at it. I thought this is not going to work. So now you think you're going to oust the new generation. You think you're going to tell them where to get off. They said no. They start picketing outside, and who knows what? The one parking. We want parking. We want parking. So we have this meeting at the workplace forum. I said to them, do you guys understand that executives need to park here? And then they said, please explain to us, why does an executive need parking? I said, yeah. He said, let me explain to you. He says, why they don't need parking. Why they don't need parking in the basement. Because they come late. They never at work. They're in some meeting. See where you're sitting now, eh? They earn the most money, and they've got trekking, and they've got everything else that we don't have. Why do they need the protection from the parking? So we need to park downstairs. It took like a month. Eventually, we agreed. Guess where the executives are parking now? Outside. Issues in the workplace, if you're not going to sort it out, this is a simple example of someone coming from nowhere in some way. He's doing a sterling job. He's a breath of fresh air in the organization. He works well. His ethics is good. But he's not going to take your nonsense. He made them park outside. They're parking outside. Why? Because they come late. They come to work at 10. They never at work. They're in meetings. They earn the most money. They can get a tracker, GPS, whatever. What am I saying to you? We're going to have to get on with understanding the younger employees that's coming in the workplace. You're going to have to understand that your stale policies and your stale way of thinking, and I'm not that old, you know, so I was really my feathers were really ruffled. I was like, you're not going to come in here and you're going to tell. I was like, no, you don't tell me where to get off. I tried to do that. It didn't work. I was just brought down to a zero. Anyway, so just one more thing. So where do we see transformation going? No, Bula? What's wrong with that picture? If you can't see the transformation, then you have not transformed. You're lucky I didn't put the picture of me on here. Do you know what transformation means now? You'll never forget this. I'm saying to you, you got to see it. You got to know that you were here and you've moved on. And if that Herbalife is not working, then you must. Okay. I think I'm going to finish. Yeah, I think I've said enough. And yeah. I have one more slide. I want to prove to you that I don't just talk a lot. I do what I say I do. This article was in the City Press. It was my article to say that, yeah, you can smoke daka all you want, but you'll not be good in the workplace. Because then it's my problem, okay? Because I'm still a safety professional. So we all had an opportunity to say something about daka in the workplace. Am I saying the right word? Cannabis, right? Marijuana, right? So I wrote an article, it was published in the City Press, and the hate I got. They were all and sundry, they sent a letter that how can I, but I was factually correct. I give a hoot. If I said something indifferent, incorrect, it's okay. But I was standing up for my profession because when that person comes to work under the influence, whether they are smoking last week, yesterday, or this morning, as far as I'm concerned, my policy says that if you're under the influence and I can find it in your urine, get off the site. So yeah, you will get that pushback, and you are going to get people that's going to say you can't say things. But I was wanting to test my credibility, and I mean I got a bit of back. So much so that the City Press has now asked me, can't I contribute on a weekly basis? And I said, no, now we need to talk money. I'm not just going to write for nothing. Okay? Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish. I just want to say, going forward, you need to scan your environment. You need to understand if things have changed. You need to scan your management. You need to scan everything. You must know, you must be on top of your game. We cannot have mediocre people. That you wake up and you're feeling sad about South Africa. There's nothing sad about South Africa. I travel a lot, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of places that I would not want to find myself. I don't care how much technology they have, how advanced they are. In some countries, I was there about 3 weeks ago, you just walk skew and then the police stops next to you. I mean, that's not the place I want to live in. I know we have a little bit of issues with crime, but then move up and go stay in Sandy. No, you need to do that. Right, no place for mediocrity, complacency. The thing of all the issues that I've discussed, that we also have to ensure that we're not just those people. We do better every day. We make sure that when the bosses ask you for advice, you make sure that you have gathered all the information. You're not just going with the flow. Make sure that you have the interests of the customers, the clients, SAC, PMP. I know I need to pay that query money. I'm not going to pay it. I'm not going to, what's that thing that they want me now to pay? The appeal. I'm not going to do it. You must come and talk to me first. Make sure that you back the right horse. Which horse are you backing? Right? Are you sure that you are backing the right horse? Are you sure that the things that you are doing is in the best interest of your organization? And then being an engaged employer, and engage means that you actually know what employees are going through. Engage means that you know their circumstances. Engage also means that this person had a wedding going on. I have to tell you this story. This guy got killed on a construction site, and I can't say where and what because it's sub judice, right? Do you know that his bosses knew he was getting married the next day? They let the man work till 5 o'clock. His wedding was in Limpopo. So now in the review that I'm doing, I'm saying, no, they're culpable. So the boss says, no, his wedding and him getting married has got nothing to do with this. It has got a lot to do with you. Where do you think his mind was Friday morning till Friday evening? Which person tells a person to come and work when he has to get married the next day? So now I'm being challenged because remember, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a this, I'm standing by my word. You are culpable. You should have let him get off because he was not in the right space, in the right framework, because now he died now, fatality happened. Why would we do stuff like that? You know how angry I was, and the company insists I'm wrong. Well, we'll see what happens if we go to court. Scales of justice. There's a reason why it's called the scale. It's not always correct. And I know that sometimes as organizations, as the SACP, as the CIDB, we have authority, we have power, and sometimes what we do is not just, but it's like the power sits with us. But we need to be careful and we need to be mindful. And sometimes our decisions keep people out of work, we keep people out of the boundaries, and we're not embracing things. We don't want to change the way we think because we're so stuck to the way we do things and our policies, and we must follow procedures. Those very same procedures that can land you in trouble. I'm going to bow out here. Thank you very much. I think the slides are available if you need to. Oh, I have to ask you if you have questions. No? Thank you very much. Okay, who has a question?
The interesting thing about Dacha, I was having people at my place
Can't hear you.
on some project. They were smoking a lot.
Smoking what?
Dacha. So my neighbor called asking to meet me urgently. Out of guilt, I thought it was going to talk about Dacha.
I don't think they can hear you.
So I said, look, let me apologize. I know these guys could be smoking a lot. And my neighbor said, no, stop right there. It's not the smoking I've got a problem with. When those guys are high, they work young.
It's true, but then what happens when the dacha out of your system, they're hungry. Make sure that you have a lot of bread there. Because if they're not eating, they're irritable. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Should somebody else be like asking you people if you have questions? Why? It's like I'm soliciting you to ask me things. I feel bad. No?
Yeah.
There's a question, okay?
Thank you, Natalie, for the best presentation.
Oh, is this where you're at? Thank you.
I would just like to ask a question. I see this fourth industrial revolution is getting momentum and ground. The jobless that is going to occur as a result. What is your feeling about it? Should it be promoted or should it be stopped in its tracks? Because I believe there's this, I'm just going to go ahead and say, this new world order just taking place. Now, the people who are going to be jobless are going to beg for jobs. And this 1% that wants to control the wealth of the world will be the ones who will be the technology. What is your take on that?
Okay, then I can answer that very smartly because I had the same question this morning where I was at the other client. So let's see, how many of you are on Facebook for the last 5-10 years and have actually closed your Facebook account or whatever social media account you have? If you were having Facebook and you actually closed it, look, it's only you. 2 people, 3 people. See how difficult it is to go against the grain? But what can you do with that technology? You can do a lot with that technology. People have gone onto that technology to connect with their families, promote their businesses, and. So this organization I was talking to this morning, they have a problem with their queuing system, like queue management. I asked them, why don't you have an app? Or why don't you go? Because the fourth industrial revolution is also about moving on to new technology, the Internet of Things. Why haven't you improved your systems? Is it because of this reason? We're afraid we're not going to have jobs? Or we're afraid, I should be worried the most because I'm the only one that don't have an employer. You're afraid that something else is going to take over your position? I think in your space where you want to improve people's lives and you want to improve systems, that's what should bother us. But not everybody is going to be jobless. How long have they been saying we're going for a cashless society? And I know of 3 places right now where there's a lot of cash, where you can actually go and try and drop them. I'm talking about cash centers and banks. And I don't know what were you thinking, right? But how long have we been saying we must go cashless society? God, there's a guy that designed an app for the taxi thingy, you need to book taxis, not Uber, the local taxis. So it's not really working because the driver still says to the person sitting next to you, you better collect and I want all my money. If you've taken a taxi, I was shocked that I found myself in that position. I knew that it existed, but I didn't know that I was the one that must calculate and I must make sure that the money is in order. And then you still have the nerve to tell me off when I let somebody know. It's almost like it was my responsibility. But there is that's happening. Look at the benefits rather than I would rather let a life be saved by using a drone to do an inspection between two wagons, because I've personally witnessed somebody crushed between two wagons where we had to call the family because we couldn't dislodge the wagons because the things were in this person's body. Where we had to put up a gazebo so that when the family came and talked to the person, and eventually when we made that call after an hour to say, well, guess what? The wagon must go because the client is waiting for their grain. That's the type of society we are. That we needed to leave, that truck needed to leave within an hour. So please, sir, can you hurry up your conversation? Right? So that we can pull the wagons apart so that this man can just die and get on with it. Would you rather do that or send through a drone or any form of technology that can assist the business? You understand the dilemma we're in? Then I have to pick humanity's side, and I rather have to be then half or part unemployed. I do know that, I was just being naughty when I put up that picture with the man in the robot, that there are concerns about robots taking over, but because there's no emotional connection yet, it's just going to take a while. But as humans, as human beings, we've always been our worst enemy. We brought this thing on ourselves. We brought it, nobody else. So, I don't know, maybe somebody else has a better answer, but I think from my experience, I just want to see that when we do make progress, it's to better other people's lives and not to hurt people. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Where did that question come from? Wasn't there earlier on?
Does it work? In the industry currently, we have a great disposition of teachers, just practically everyone opening a company and then wanting to hire technical staff. And they sit in those interviews and they don't actually quite understand the right questions to ask. Now, as an HR person, how do we actually mitigate controlling who can practice in this industry and not just a construction company is just like a business like any other? Because we don't find me being in construction opening a surgery and running it, or a law firm and running it. So how do we control such things?
Sure, the question is very difficult. I'm actually the safety person. Did I say I was an HR person? I just happen to be part of panels. I don't know. I think if you have an honest process, there should always be a mixture of people. It's technical. It's people that's going to ask the HR related things. And you can never replace people's knowledge and skills with technology. I think where we also lack, a lot of people don't read. I mean, you see when people come for an interview, they don't even know these people that's on the panel. But I have researched you before you come to that interview. I have researched you. I even know that you left the job yesterday and the day before and you're on the panel. I didn't know this. We were part of the panel, so I was like wondering who's this dude, because he's not part of the setup. This was for a private company. They deal with money. So I was suspecting that something is not right, because usually I ask standard questions. And this person, like you would have seen that maybe he's not a teacher, he doesn't know what he's talking. You know the questions he asks? He says, have you ever stolen money from your mother's purse? So the one person says, maybe. The other person says, I don't know. The other person says, yeah, a lot of times. And his evaluation of the behavioral, because they call them behavioral specialists, behavioral something, evaluation of the person that we didn't need to hire was a person that was very, very honest. He rated that person high. He felt that the others were sort of dishonest and all that. And I would have never in my mind thought that I would sit on a panel where a criminologist or behavioral specialist is checking your behavior in the interview as to how you're behaving towards questions and how you're making up things. Because employers have to come up with all sorts of measures to root out all the evil. And I would have thought, this dude, he said he's always digging his mother's purse. But remember what was the question? The question was not further asked to be elaborated as to So when did you take money and under what conditions? It was just a question, a yes or no. And he said all the time. So that forms part of the overall answer. But that's it. I think that's where I bow out. Anything else? You want to ask about CEO salaries? I can tell you who's owning what. No. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for the